Is it the right ad for your company? Would a C-suite look at that and say, that's how I want to be portrayed? If the answer is no, then you have a lot more work to do. And then now you have to go back to square one with, once you create the new hooks and pain points and offers, you got to then focus on your hook rate again and then restart from there. So don't skip the middle part. Like, look at your ads and say, this is what 100% of my prospecting is being portrayed on. And if you're not like, man, that feels good as an owner, that's where you have some restructuring and some creative work to do. Not just hook rate. You are portraying yourself as a brand now.
Question on that is, why, if you're able to print $1, why not print more dollars in the meantime while you cycle in more? Is the negative impacts of getting that conversion data so high that it, is not worth it? What's kind of the thoughts there? As you drink out of your boot.
I have my boot. I went to Disney World. So now I get a big Das boot, like the movie Beer Fest.
That's awesome. That's pure vodka right there, by the way.
Right? Oh, I wish I got a Russian one. Then it would work. So yes, there's an advanced type of mentality that we're kind of going through, which is, we've noticed, and this is getting really, really, really in the depths, so sorry about this. We've noticed that you can train a pixel on an audience, and the audience is based on familiarity of that audience. So if I said, hey, I'm going to use a different scenario that's more obvious that everyone would know. I'm Nike shoes. So like, perfect hiking shoes. You guys sell hiking shoes only. Running shoes, I maybe, but hiking shoes. And you're like, no, it's not. That Nike sells everything. Okay. So that means that we have Meta thinks that Nike only sells hiking shoes. Why? But the hiking shoes have a great hook rate. And now the majority of our ad spend is on hiking shoes only. And it's like, well, is it working? Yes. Do we want to become the hiking shoe company called Nike? No. So we have a structure problem. So we're producing ad spend on ads that are working well, but it's for maybe too singular of a category or the wrong category. But because the hook rate was so good, Meta's like, well, sorry, that's your company. So two things. If the metrics, it's like, I don't care what sells as long as anything sells, fine. Then yes, we have succeeded because we are getting new customers at the right NCAC on the wrong product though. So how do we change that? Well, that's where we develop feeder strategy so that we can push ad spend to proper products. But the feeder strategy also has to have a cohesive narrative. So we're going to change gears here a minute, and we're going to look at something else. This is a new account that's going live, and it's actually just went live, no joke, 24 minutes ago.
Wow,
and
that's really fresh.
Yeah, I mean, literally, it's probably, I don't even think we have ad spend yet.
Still preparing, yeah.
I mean, basically. So if we're looking at this one, preparing. That one, this is still preparing. Like, this just went live. So we have what's today? Yeah, we have the whole. We spent a grand total of 57 cents so far. But what we're looking at, this is a company that does sell injectables. TRT, GLP-1s, enclophamines, those type of things. Now, the company is heavy GLP-1. Now, enclomiphene and TRT have a better LTV and a better profitability, but everyone wants GLP-1s because everyone knows about GLP-1s today. It's like all over the radio, TV, meta feed, that kind of stuff. So the wrong product is doing very well, and it has a high amount of ad spend to it. So we got AOS in there. We were doing feeder strategy again, because why? Well, when we're looking at our ads, we have fantastic. We're getting like 300 new leads a day. Conversion rate's like 40%. Like we're not hurting at all. I mean, this thing is cranking. I joined him with 280. He's like, I want 380 leads a day. And we're like, and boom, 380 leads a day. Like, this thing is working well. The problem is the majority of the ad spend is going to things that are like, say big, like we're cheap. And it's like, oh, okay, cool. What else are you gonna tell me about the product? It's what you want, and we're cheap. Okay, so what else? Well, hey, we have what you want, and we're cheap. It's like, okay, well, what else? What other narrative are we pushing? Say big, lose bigger. We're cheap.
Yeah.
So like we have a nice
sales ads.
Yeah, well, all it is basically like the have and have not. We have the lowest form of the totem pole. So on one product, primarily TRT ads, which are actually selling more GLP-1s, everyone knows that we have it and it's cheap. So it's like we're not building any new audiences. We're just now reshuffling the deck of other competitors. Hey, are you getting TRT? Yes, I am. Want to save $12? Okay. Haha. Like that's
Yeah.
our brand awareness play. We got it and it's cheap. That is a horrible way to build a brand. You can't build a brand that way.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
Someone undercuts you.
Payless shoes would still be a business. You know what I mean? So we got shoes and they're cheap. Shit, that's not enough. And so that's what we're doing is we say, okay, we need to diversify our portfolio of customer base. Got it. We also need to build our brand. Got it. We also need to portray ourselves as a health company, not just we got it and it's cheap. And we're here to achieve your dreams. What are your dreams? Playing with your kids, being more lively in the bedroom, having more energy to go work out and not feel sluggish at the end of the day. Okay. Those are all things that TRT and GLP-1s do. And now how I'm going to upgrade my status. So it went from like the have and have not, don't have GLP-1, now I have GLP. The next one up, daily life, feeling sluggish, feeling energized. What's the next one up? Waking up, knowing that you're going to be a great father today and play with your kids, or being, down and depressed. And then what was the last thing? Well, now you are the rich, handsome, like shredded dad that everyone wants to, that is a status thing versus, middle-aged bald guy like John Moran. So you got those two different things there. Like that is the levels that we have to go up in order to convince a person to spend a high amount of money. I have it and it's cheap. You cater to the poor, you become poor. So we needed to bring ourselves up. We needed to elevate our status. This is how we do marketing rather than just traffic driving. So then when we flip that over to the next thing, we say, okay, well, what has changed? Well, let's take a look at the GLP ads. Oh, what are the GLP ads here? Now we're not really necessarily talking about we have it as cheap, but now it's like we're going into a lose weight, appetite control, reduced inflammation, increased metabolism, boosted energy. Okay. Now we do have obviously some sale ads because those do work. We do need to have them. But now it's like for a mom running on empty, like this is how I got a real medical plan, like without the hassle. Okay, cool. So is this you? You're in the kitchen feeling sluggish and just sitting there drinking caffeine and snacking all day. Like
coffee and Cheetos every day, John.
Exactly right. So we went from like we have it and it's cheap to now it's like, do you feel this way and want to feel better? Okay. So now you can see the narrative shift. Yes, of course, we get 308 leads a day, and I don't need to actually do anything to get this company to the upper echelon besides increase ad spend. But once I hit a point that's plateau, you've run out of the people with a prescription ready to just order. Like, how do you get the people without a prescription or people that are having those, how do we go more top of funnel? Essentially, that's all it is. So, the have and have nots got us to a point where we can spend, I think, like $200 or $300 a month. Like, it's not bad, but it's in high demand. But what if we were actually able to convince people that this is good for you? Yeah. And so that's where we have to look at is you can solve the problem, but you have not solved the scalable problem. And that's where we kind of get into the creative is like, yes. Does the ad do good? Yes. Is it the right ad for your company? Would a C-suite look at that and say, that's how I want to be portrayed? If the answer is no, then you have a lot more work to do. And then now you have to go back to square one with once you create those the new hooks and pain points and offers, you got to then focus on your hook rate again and then restart from there. So don't skip the middle part. Like look at your ads and say, this is what 100% of my prospecting is being portrayed on. And if you're not like, man, that feels good as an owner, that's where you have some restructuring and some creative work to do, not just hook rate. You are portraying yourself as a brand now.
Okay, so that makes a lot of sense. I mean, for people that are more, I guess, trying to think, it was more visual like me, but also like you in the sense of like you're looking at a funnel. Those types of ads are just focusing on bottom of funnel. You're just talking to people that are already in the market, not the bottom 3%, but the lowest part of the funnel, 3% of your total market.
Basically bottom 3% probably.
And you're just scooping up whoever you can. And it's essentially just doing, you're not really growing the brand. You're just cash flowing, which isn't wrong. Like I would argue that if you're small and you're like, hey, we don't have really that much money, maybe that route makes sense to start to get cash flow, but then break into actually building out creative that's going to convert people that are cold.
And it does work. I mean, that's the thing too, is like, don't have shoe, now have shoe. Cool. But you're not Nike yet. You just don't have shoe, now have shoe. Don't have car, now have car. Don't have sunglasses, now have sunglasses. And they're cheap. Like that, that is not a brand. That's a fix, I guess I would say, for an issue. That's not a brand. And so that's where we get into things like this, like what makes Newform different. And then, okay, like that's interesting. This isn't us versus them. Could be competitor, could be industry, whatever it is. Because so what's nice about this is because they get to talk, or because I get to talk to somebody that's a real person. Most of the other places I would say are more just like an email or a text message, just hearing maybe the reassurance from your physician's voice, like, hey, X, Y, and Z is what your treatment plan is going to be. We've had success with this many patients. So now you're talking, okay, like they're actually doctors who have patients that are reviewing blood work and then answering questions. It's not just, it's cheap and I'm going to order it. Because one of the first things that we looked at in the form when someone completed the form is what was one of your main questions about the company? First one was, where is it made?
Yeah.
It's cheap and we have it. From where?
Yeah.
It's like, it's made in a sweatshop in Antarctica. Oh God. Like what? Like, I'm not going to touch that. I'm not going to inject that into my body. And that was the first thing I said is, I'm like, if you say, hey, I have a prescription medication that you are going to inject into your thigh at home by yourself, you better know, you better hope that's quality. Because if someone passes out, that's kind of where we have to look at our go-to-market plan, and do that go-to-market planning with much more than just, oh, that ad works. Like, take some time, build a cohesive narrative, like go through a 1-hour sales pitch with yourself and write down everything that you were using to try to sell yourself on, because the owner of a company or the manager, whoever it is, a position of power, the decision maker, typically is the person that says, this creative sucks. You guys didn't even say anything about my clean bathrooms, my shiny brand new lights, and my amazing front desk. Like the people that have that pride of their company and that built it from the ground up, that have built every lever that they pull every day, that are very proud of it. They've cleaned the bathrooms and they've also been in the C-suite. Like those type of people, those are the best people to not only run sales teams and operations, but also can do the best creative, honestly, just from an ideation standpoint. Your creative teams are not going to build your company for you. They're not good at it. They've never, for the majority, this statement is true. The creative teams have never built companies. They build amazing creative that have built companies, but they've never built companies. But the creative that they're going to be building for a company needs to come from a subject matter expert. And the subject matter expert is the business owner, founder, CEO, COO, sometimes maybe
head designer. People that know more about the actual product or business.
Or the head of the sales team. What objections are you overcoming every single day? Well, they don't like it because it's A, B, C, D. Aha, that's ad. That's concept. 4 hooks, 4 offers, 3 different variations. All those things right there that have to be used to wally fat people, educate people about your brand, now has to be done in a cohesive narrative, and it has to be correct to your company. It's really, it's funny how 30, 40 years ago, this was done in one room in one day. Now it's like we outsource this to all around the country, or all around the world, for people who have never actually built companies before, that are in charge of like a good lever to pull. Like, give me a good ad. Is it the right narrative? I don't know. Is it the right product? Close enough. It's our best seller. Was it?
It's got a good hook rate. It does matter.
Right. It's like, well, it's spend and it's got hook rate. So they all have to work together with a right amount of ad spend, and it need to be a cohesive narrative. So all we would say is your go-to-market plan dictates your targeting and your messaging of your company. So when you're reviewing ads, don't just say, these look good, send them. It's review every one and say, if this is the only shot you have at building this company, is that the narrative that you're going to put your house on? Hey, if you like this video, we have a Skool Community where we have a few hundred members, and we cover topics, everything from the basics to all the way to the like hyper crazy advanced stuff that's like coming out next month. So a few hundred members there. We go live twice a week, something with an hour-long education about something that is very relevant to the community that week, plus a weekly Q&A where you just get to come and bring us all of your problems, and we solve them one at a time.
So I have a link below in the description if you want to join. And then obviously if you have any questions, feel free to reach out and we can answer those for you. And we'll see you in there.